Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome live on stage the man himself. It's Double Johnson.
And thank you very, very much. Welcome those who have tuned in. We can't do the show live because obviously YouTube's saying that it takes 24 hours to activate the account again for live streaming for some reason. Don't know what's going on there. But obviously can't do this Dazzer's Transfer Show episode 9 live. So we're doing this as an upload or as a premiere, hopefully. If you're watching this as a premiere, if it ends up being a premiere, then welcome those who've tuned in, and please get your comments in the live chat, and of course get your comments in the comment section down below. Please do drop a like and get your comments in, and of course we've got a lot to talk about today. Kieran Trippier to Tottenham, from Tottenham to Atletico Madrid, the Ligt to Juventus, which is probably going to be our main feature. We also have one Boro transfer, which isn't great for Boro fans, bit of a negative side. We are of course joined by a guest, and of course this show will finish. We're recording this about 7:20 now. Took ages to get everything sorted, so we'll finish this I'd say about 8:05. So that's when we'll finish it. So it's just probably a 45-minute video. But let's get straight into it. We're joined by a guest, a gentleman from Colchester. It is a man from the Football Hub. It's Jack Fryatt.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Good. Thank you very much for coming on, by the way. It's very much appreciated.
That's all right.
We got there in the end. But, there's been a couple of issues, but as I say, so everything's fine now, and let's get straight into it. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Harry Maguire. Obviously, Phil Jones, first of all, scored for Manchester United yesterday against Leeds in 4-0 fashion, which of course United fans enjoyed, and I did. And obviously Mason Greenwood scoring his first goal for the senior team. Of course, Martial getting on scored from penalty. Phil Jones obviously scored for the first time since 2014, and I was gobsmacked when I saw that the Tinder Salmon actually scored. And of course, who else scored the other goal? Rashford scored the other goal, I believe it was. I might be wrong. Who scored the fourth? Who scored the other goal? It's Jones, Mason Greenwood. Martial.
Greenwood.
No, someone else scored. Greenwood didn't score two. I think it was Rashford. Yeah, it was Rashford, I think.
Jones.
I don't know, we're lost now. But Jones did score, and Mark Gorbridge did say on his live watch long that he thinks that might have put the nail in Harry Maguire's transfer. Is that the end of the Harry Maguire transfer just because Phil Jones has scored? I hope not. I think we'll still sign him. He's obviously probably due to have a medical at some point at Old Trafford. And it'll be the AO Centre, the actual training centre, I think it'll be. If he does come to United, I think it'll be a good addition to the defence, because obviously the defence is actually quite weak. It's quite cack at the minute, especially with some of the old deadwood in the team. So I think it'll be a good addition. I think he'll show what he's made of. He's got Premier League experience. I think the price is high, but that's mainly down to the fact that he's English. He's a World Cup semi-finalist, and he's also from the Premier League. Seems to be all the English players who go to Premier League clubs, they always seem to be more expensive. Like Wan-Bissaka was one of them. He's English, cost 70 million from Crystal Palace to Manchester United. Maguire looking at possibly practically the same amount, 50, 60 million. Now I hope this deal goes through. If not, then I think that's a bit of a downfall on the defensive side. I think that's a bit of a downfall for the season. Do you think, Jack, that the Phil Jones goal yesterday, do you agree with Mark Gorbridge? Do you think that's put the nail on the Maguire transfer?
I think it probably has, because I think Phil Jones is going to be a cup centre-back at best. And I think Maguire will sign. It's just the point of how long it will be until that actually happens, because everyone knows it's going to happen because Man City went out the race when they said we want 17 million minimum, and they're like, no, we're not going to pay that because I think Man City don't want to spend as big as us. Because they always buy small transfers. They're always going for smaller transfers.
City can't really complain because, I mean, they've signed players for a lot more money, and they're obviously wanting... They were wanting like 90 million or something for Leroy Sané, and I don't think that's going to happen now. Before we do get on to anything else so quickly, just want to point out I'm wearing sunglasses because I have this lamp, of course, as I do every single OBS stream and video. So that's why I'm wearing sunglasses. So apologies there. I just thought I'd disclaim that. Yeah. City went out of the race. United are currently the favourites. And obviously I think he's likely to leave Leicester City after quite a while being there. And I think the fact he's got loads of Premier League experience is actually helps. It actually helps United. I mean, if you look at the squad now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think, is doing a good job because he's bringing in a lot of youth players. He's brought in Wan-Bissaka, who's only 21, around now, 2021. He's brought in Daniel James, who's 21, 22. And he's likely to bring Maguire, who's in his early 20s as well, I believe. So, do you
26.
think he's 26?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have been thinking of the wrong person then. I don't know. I always get people's ages mixed up. I sometimes get my own family's ages mixed up half the time. But do you think it's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is investing in more youth players?
Yeah, because he's looking at a long-term squad. Because if you go out buy all these loads of 30-year-olds, these are going to last you for like not even 5 years, probably about 3 years at best. And with that, they're probably not even going to last that long, to be honest. Because say you buy loads of 30-year-olds and you only have like 21 or 25 belows in the squad, you're going to have to go out, spend loads of money on these young players because the prices are only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
And we're going to have an aging squad on our hands and a lot of angry fans.
Yeah, I agree. I think, as you said, it's youth players mixing with the old players, and sometimes the youth players actually come out on top, which is something that's quite positive. And, I think if you're going to be one of those clubs who have loads of old players, loads of youth players, if it was me, I wouldn't really mix them. I would probably put a squad of youth players and a squad of old players. But, it would be a bit probably daft. Because then you end up playing a squad of old players in the Premier League, which would be quite a risk. But I think it's good that he's actually investing in the youth players because obviously a lot of the youth players that they're bringing is obviously they've got loads of upcoming prospect. And, of course, to show a little bit of talent they've got, that's something special about them. They're quality players. Wan-Bissaka, James played well. He's played well so far in pre-season. Every player who's at United so far has played well. Even Phil Jones, and I never thought I'd say that. Rashford, showing his class at the minute, scoring a couple of goals. He's knocking up a few chances as well. And even Mason Greenwood, who's currently in contention to play against Chelsea, which I think would be pretty risky to do. But, some of the youth players that United do have will obviously play in the Premier League, and some of them will obviously, it might not be good enough for the Premier League, but might play in, cup games. And I think if Harry Maguire came in, obviously he's probably going to get started ahead of probably Chris Smalling. But we're seeing a lot of youth players. But if we bring in Harry Maguire, who's he likely to replace? Because since Phil Jones scored, I doubt Phil Jones is going to get replaced much. We have to worry about Eric Bailly because Eric Bailly, in my opinion, best defender for United this season, alongside Lindelof. That's the best partnership. But who would Harry Maguire link with? Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, and all that, we'd probably end up with a full English defence, which, looking at some of the United players, wouldn't be quite promising now, because you got Ashley Young, who half the time plays at right back. No, Wan-Bissaka, who's right back now. You got Luke Shaw still, who's the left back. You'd have Chris Smalling and Maguire off Phil Jones. We'd end up with an English defence if that was the case. But I think if it was me, I think he'd be better off being alongside Lindelof. If he came in.
Yeah.
Anyways, any more points you want to say? Any more points you want to make about this transfer before we go on to the next one?
I think Harry Maguire will sign. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take, because I think it's dragging on a bit now, and I think most fans know it's going to happen. We're just waiting for when it happens.
I know you said on Kieran's stream about it, that it'd be quite complex for his transfer, because obviously United have now gone to Singapore. So what would he have to do? Would that mean that I think something like you said, that does he do his medical at United when United are back in England for 2 days before going somewhere else? I think.
Well, I was wrong.
Saying that.
Already landed down in Singapore today.
Oh,
Apparently they're in Singapore already.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I saw photos of the hotel they're staying in. Pretty nice.
Yeah. Looks
like a 5-star hotel.
It's not going to be a TripAdvisor hotel like one of the £5 ones.
Oh no! You're looking at about probably 700 quid or something. Quite a lot. But yeah, I think that's all we have to say about Maguire. I think it's likely to happen. It's just a matter of time. Next one is a Middlesbrough FC one, and this is Aidan Flint. Aidan Flint currently looks likely to be having a medical at Cardiff City in a possible I'll get me teeth in. £6 million move to Cardiff to actually a fellow Championship club. Now, this season he's not been brilliant. Half the time he was lucky if he won a header. He did decent in pre-season though, so I can't see why he would go, but I think he did better at Bristol City than he has done at Boro. And Cardiff, I think, is that the right move? Is it not? He might play better at Cardiff. Obviously, Neil Warnock's still manager there, and he's probably one of the old magicians. Plays better football than Tony Pulis does, I'll be honest. I just think the issue with Flint is that I don't think he suited Tony Pulis' style of play. I think it was just Pulis just affected a lot of the players. Oh, God.
Would you say it's just a move to some different surroundings?
And it's a different country when you look at it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a decent move. But who would Boro have in replace? Well, obviously Dale Fry, who I believe is coming back from injury soon. Danny Ayala, who still plays but is a liability. And that's practically it. That's practically it on the top of my head, centre-back wise. George Friend has also been named the new Middlesbrough FC captain. A big responsibility on him, because obviously he's played at both for, goodness knows how long. So he's got a lot of experience at club. He knows, it's like Woodgate. He knows what's good. He knows what's bad about the team and stuff. And, he knows what the positives and negatives can be. So he's a team leader, in my opinion. He's still got it in him. But I thought Flint last season just didn't look great. I think he only scored 1 or 2 goals. I know he scored the main goal in the first game of the season. That was against Sheffield United at home. But apart from that, he didn't do much else. I mean, he's all right defender, but he's not fantastic. And I think, we'd have to try and bring someone else in. Maybe invest in one of the youth players, Jed Spence. He's a right back. I can't remember half of the players now at the top of my head. But we've still got a lot of good players in the team who I think are capable of getting Boro to promotion. Not sure whether you all know much about Boro because you don't really watch a championship, do you?
No. I don't watch much of the championship. I keep up with some of the scores, but not really. I don't really. I can't watch championships. I don't have Sky Sport.
It's on Quest. The highlights are on Quest. But
yeah, I watched the highlight.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I think that's Flint one. I think that's very, very likely to happen. But who do Boro bring in replace? And are we even going to make a signing? Because so far we brought in 2 players. One from Burrell's from, I think, Notts County. And he's in the academy team. And we brought one player.
There is some breaking news that I'd like to share.
One person who's not that great looking at it. So we haven't really signed anyone too grand. Mm. And what were you going to say?
Basically, about 5 minutes ago, Sport Bible have said Barcelona officially bid 90 million for Neymar, and in the deal, they can pick 2 players from this list: Philippe Coutinho, Ousmane Dembele, Rakitic, Semedo, and Malcolm. That's what's been reported.
I can see the fact that PSG paid 200 million for him in the first place. I can see them ejecting that. Neymar, I don't think PSG will let Neymar go to Barcelona Real Madrid unless they pay about 250 mil, because they're going to want their money back practically. Especially if they go to Barcelona, they're definitely going to want their money back, if not more, because that's where he came from in the first place. And I mean, it'd be good for Neymar if he did go back to Barcelona, but I don't think he'll leave PSG unless it's 200 million. But in my opinion, it'd be good for Neymar to go back to Barcelona because he's obviously knows the La Liga. He's played in the Liga for a bit. He's also been a top quality player in the Liga, and obviously beat PSG in that 6-1 unbelievable comeback in the Champions League a few seasons back, 6-5 in aggregate from 4-0 down. So, you know, it'd be good for him because he knows Suarez, he knows Messi, he knows Rakitic, he knows practically every single Barcelona player apart from Arthur. Oh no, he will know Arthur from the Brazil team. Actually, I do apologise. That's my mistake. Who will he not know? There'll be 1 or 2 players which he probably won't know. Obviously, Dembele he won't know. He won't really know Ousmane Dembele. Coutinho he'll know very well anyway. But if he does go to Barcelona, will he get starts ahead of Coutinho, and what would that mean for Coutinho?
Yeah, I think he will start ahead of Coutinho, to be honest.
So where does Coutinho go from there?
Does he sit? Can he sit back in that centre mid? Can he maybe open himself up to a different position?
I think he's more of a left. I think he's more of a left winger. Yeah, although I think he's played left mid before.
But yeah, left mid's only a step back, and it's like a left wing, but you have to. I think Coutinho's looked for the move. And he said, "Yeah, I guess this was. I guess it's a hard one because he said he's been there, he's wanted to go there, he's faked injuries to get there, and once he's flopped, where's he going to go? Because I'm sure Liverpool fans won't welcome him with open arms. Man United fans won't want him, next Liverpool player, and I don't think many teams would want to pay the fee that they want to have."
I agree. We're halfway through the show, actually. We've only got through 2 transfers, or 3 now, actually, because of that. That was actually an add-on. We didn't actually have that in the first place. If he goes to Barcelona, good luck to him, but I don't think PSG will let him go for at least, unless it's 200 million at least. I think he's got more chance of going to Barcelona. Next one, Trippier to Atletico Madrid, one of the main features in this stream. £20 million and a 5-year deal, I believe. 5-year deal, isn't it? I'm right? If I'm right. I think it's 5 years.
Yeah. Either 5 or 3.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure it was 5 years. But Trippier to Atletico, if you know, let us know in the comments and in the live chat. Thank you. 20 million for Trippier, which is quite reasonable. But I was half expecting the price to be a lot higher, considering 1, he's English, 2, he plays for Spurs, who got into the Champions League final, 3, he's one of Spurs' best defenders. So I was expecting the price to be about 60, 70 million. The fact they got it for 20 million is an absolute bargain. Someone of his quality, did well at the World Cup, did well in the Champions League, probably one of Spurs' best defenders. But where do Spurs go from here? Well, that means he's obviously going to be replaced by Sergio Aurier, who's obviously one of their main talents. They've also got a second backup. I believe they still have Kyle Walker-Peters. Let me know if I'm wrong. I still believe they have him.
Sergio Aurier.
Kyle Walker-Peters, I think, still plays with them as well.
Yeah.
And also, Danny Rose could be heading somewhere as well. So that's both their best. I wouldn't say Danny Rose is their best left back, but that's 2 of their main fullbacks heading out. And obviously, Trippier passed the medical at Atletico, and I think it's a good signing for Atletico. However, I don't think Trippier is going to actually do that well. And it might sound harsh, but I don't think he's going to settle in well at Atletico Madrid. The only person he'll really know from the Premier League is Diego Costa, really. I don't think there's really anyone else in that team who is from the Premier League. And he's got no La Liga experience. I don't think he's ever played for a team in Spain. And he doesn't know Spanish. So it'll take him a long while to get used to the game. It's a total different ball game. And I think he's going to struggle to settle in.
There's one thing that makes me, that comes to mind when I think of his transfer. So it's like deadline down career mode. You've forgot to buy someone and you only have 20 mil, and then Atletico, it's like one of them quick buys. It's not at the end of the window, but it feels like a career mode where you just bought some random right back. But I think Arias will play better than Trippier. I think he'll flop day one. I know I'm a Tottenham fan, and I said he'll flop, and he's like, no, Trippier will do well. I'm like, very rarely players who go to Spain do well.
No, Costa's Spanish, went from Chelsea, and he scored occasionally, but he hasn't been that fun. He hasn't been brilliant. Morata has been a flop. Who else? Coutinho has been all right. Yeah, Arias obviously is their main right back, and he's definitely going to play better than Trippier because he's got more experience. Trippier doesn't know La Liga. He doesn't know it like the back of his hand. Atletico Madrid players do. And it's a big responsibility playing for one of the biggest clubs in La Liga. I still think the biggest club is Barcelona, in my opinion. Sorry for Real Madrid fans, by the way. But that's just my opinion. You probably have different opinions. Barca, Real, or Atletico Madrid, who's the biggest team in La Liga? Let me know. Big debate. But, I agree. I think he'll flop. He just doesn't have that experience. And I think he doesn't know Spanish. Does not know Spanish. It'll take him a long time to learn Spanish. It's took me over a year and I still don't even know Spanish. And
I've done 2 years of German, I barely know any.
I
did 2 years of German, I still know hello and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't listen to class.
Yeah. Fair enough. It takes a long time to actually get the art of knowing different languages.
But they do have translators now in this, because...
Yeah, they do. They will do, yeah, because they'll have to.
Which is quite useful.
They have to. So...
Yeah, because...
It's fair to say that it might... You never know. I mean, we're saying this before the season starts. He could have a fly with Atletico Madrid, but I highly doubt he'll be any good, in my opinion. I'm sorry to Spurs fans, sorry to Atletico Madrid fans, but I don't think he was the best signing for Atletico to make, in my opinion. Right.
I'd love to say he could flop, and then he proves me wrong, because I'd love to see.
Yeah, that's what I'd like. That's what I would like. That's what everyone's saying about. That's what everyone was saying about Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Daniel James, and all them, and other players, not just Manchester United players, but other players as well around the world, saying, "Oh, he come from this team, it's low down. They're going to absolutely, he's going to flop. He's going to feel the pressure." Trippier will feel the pressure, but he can definitely play in the Champions League. He's good enough for the Champions League. Maybe not good enough for the Liga. But I'll say, who knows? That's my opinion. You will probably have a different opinion. We have about 15 minutes left, so let's get into the next one. Steve Bruce became the Toons manager. Why did I say it? Because everyone calls them Toons. He's now the manager of the Magpies. Let me get it right. The Magpies, Newcastle United, and apparently he wasn't even in charge for the actual game against Wolves, and there was already people saying Bruce out, get Bruce out. Worst decision ever made by the club. Mike Ashley cares more about his Sports Direct mugs than the club. And I know a few Newcastle fans that I've said that too, and they've 100% agreed with me. And I'm not saying it as a lie. There's one Newcastle fan I saw at Hartlepool. What was his name? And I said that, and he said, "You're right, you know." Even Newcastle fans will admit he cares more about Sports Direct mugs than he cares about his own club. With Newcastle, they need a financial takeover. They also need a pretty big transfer budget in order to sign anyone good. They've already lost Jose Perez, which is probably one of their biggest losses in a while. One of their best players is gone. Wandon, I think, is likely to head back to West Brom. Gale, I think, is he back at Newcastle now? I can't remember now. I can't remember now off the top of my head. But they're losing players by the minute because of the way the club's won. And the way things are going, they'll probably end up in the relegation zone. And even some Newcastle fans will even say, we'll end up in the relegation zone. Bruce is a Championship manager. I would never believe that he's a Premier League manager, in my opinion. I'm doubting him, and you know, I think it'd be good if he proved people wrong, like me. But I don't think he's good enough for the Premier League manager-wise. He's like Tony Pulis, in my opinion. He'll end up taking clubs down. And Steve Bruce from Sheffield Wednesday, probably a quick decision. But I think obviously there's been rumours saying it could be a 90 million transfer budget. I highly doubt that. Unless there's a financial takeover. But if that's true, then there you go. Fair enough. First game didn't go off plan, but he wasn't even in charge, and they got tonked 4-0. So, that's what happens. And whilst we're talking about Newcastle, Joelinton has been linked with Newcastle from Hoffenheim. Forgive me for this, but I thought he was from the Liga NOS at first, and then I searched him up and then realised he was from Hoffenheim. I don't know how I got that wrong, considering I watch the Bundesliga every single flaming week. So I don't know how I got that wrong. Bit clueless on my behalf. We do all make mistakes. He's Brazilian, so he'd have to learn fluent English. He might actually know English anyway, because a lot of the countries tend to learn English. So he might actually know a bit of English and stuff. And Joelinton plays well in the Bundesliga. Does he have what it takes in the Premier League? No. He plays well for Hoffenheim. Not good enough for the Premier League, in my opinion. However, it would be different if he was going to a bigger club in the Premier League. If he was going to a big top 6 club in the Premier League, then I think he'd totally flop. He might have a chance at Newcastle, and you know he could prove us wrong. But I don't think he's Premier League quality, in my opinion. He's good for Hoffenheim. He scores a few goals. Not Premier League quality, in my opinion. But who knows? Anything can happen. And he might actually do well. What are your thoughts on Newcastle United, then?
I think the manager is causing too much controversy. And I think it could do fans on some stuff. Like, they might not be happy. They might start run. and stuff.
Well, they already have.
Joe Linton, I think, is one of them ones that you can hit or miss with.
Yeah.
You can hit, and he does really well. Or you can miss, and he does an Alexis Sanchez. And we all know what happened. I'm not talking about the Arsenal one. I'm talking about the Man United one. We all know what happened there.
The difference with Alexis Sanchez was he was playing in the same league, so he shouldn't have flopped in the first place. He had loads of experience. It was just crap. Right. So there's Newcastle for you then. That's 2 of the transfers out. The next one is the big one. I need to get this in, otherwise I can't put this in the title, which I was originally going to. Matthias de Ligt, and this might be the final transfer we get because there's only about less than 10 minutes left of the transfers, and then we have to do the wheel and find out who's going to be on next week, and hopefully it will work live. And I did forget to say today is a birthday special, since of course Tuesday was my 17th birthday. And I did put a message on YouTube saying thank you very much for your support these last couple of years, and as I'm really enjoying everything so far. It's been fantastic.
1 year until you can drink alcohol. Think about it.
I don't think I'd ever drink alcohol, mate.
You know?
Nah, I never drink alcohol. Alcohol, yeah. The Ligt to Juventus. Now, I had a message off Rob Beswick on Instagram. I'll just try and find it. But in my opinion, he sent the message saying that the Ligt was now a Juventus player, and he's proud to be at Juventus. And I sent this message to him when I can find it. I'll get to it in a second, but I wasn't sure whether it was the right decision for him to go to Juventus. Otherwise, I think he should have just stayed where he was. So I think it would have been a lot better off at Ajax. It's his home country. He's played fantastic there this season, and I think he might have made the wrong decision going to Juventus. Though it was Ronaldo who said, so here we go. So he sent me this, and this is Matthias de Ligt on the actual Juventus account saying, "Hello, Bayan Canary. I believe that just means Juventus. This is Matthias de Ligt. I'm really happy to be here." And it was actually Ronaldo who apparently said that he wanted him to come. Now he asked me what we thought were, and I've put, not sure if he made the right decision. Would have been probably better playing in his home country or going to a club like PSV or Feyenoord. However, I don't think he would have gone to one of Ajax's rivals. And I think that probably would have been a step down. He might have been better off going to Barcelona because obviously De Jong, I believe it's De Jong still is playing for Barcelona, and he knows them from the Ajax team. He'd have a great link-up play with him.
He said them rumours weren't true. Him and his agent
weren't true.
They said them rumours to Barcelona were complete lies, and the media made it up.
Okay, fair enough then. But like I say, I mean, I think if that wasn't true then, so I don't know who made that trash up. Media as usual, classic media. Make up a load of trash.
Made it up?
The media.
Some guy behind a keyboard thinking, "Oh, what's a good transfer? Oh, what's a good transfer that'll catch the eye of some people?" Ooh,
because after time they put stuff in the newspaper and stuff on the internet that people don't give two craps about. So they're just trying to make it interesting, and it's backfired on them. We have about 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
67.5 million deal, 5-year deal as well, and that's probably about the type of price you'd expect from Matthias de Ligt, especially the way he played in the Champions League. As he was an important player for Ajax, but where do Ajax go from here? I think Ajax have lost probably their best defender, so they're gonna struggle without him this season. And who does he replace in the Juventus lineup? There's obviously Bonucci, who doesn't play for Milan. Obviously, I believe he still plays for Juventus. Chiellini, Barzagli. Rugani.
Barzagli retiring, I think.
Barzagli's retiring. Oh, well, that's who will replace then. You got Rugani as well, and all them. So
I think Rugani needs to leave because his talent is getting wasted. I think that lad could have a big talent, and he sat on that bench at Juventus quite consistently, and I'm sure a lot of fans would back me up in saying his career could easily be destroyed because of him being sat on the bench week in, week out. I think he needs to go to a club where he can get regular game time and prove to Juventus that he is worth being at the club. And at the moment, I think Juventus don't have much faith. I ain't going to lie.
That's true. Very true. Yeah, I agree with that. What else was I going to say? So, Barzagli's likely to retire. But if Mattista was not going to isn't going to replace Barzagli, who would he replace in the Juventus lineup?
I'd say Bonucci, short term, because
Bonucci's getting old.
For me, Chiellini's going to be the role model, and I think Bonucci's going to be the role model that he wants to train in, because personally, you wouldn't kick out your captain. Who would you kick out? Your second centre back or your captain? I would kick
probably
out
your second centre back. Yeah.
You'd always kick out your
because the captain's the one who leads the team. He's the team leader, and the captain's always the captain always bosses wherever he is. Like if he's in defence, he'll boss the defence around like it's the Flaming Apprentice. He'll boss them around like Alan Sugar. If it's midfield, then it's the same. Forwards, he bosses the attack. So if it's goalkeeper, then it's different. It means one, he bosses the defence and bosses the entire team. So it's a bit different with that. In my opinion, captaincy is a bit like it's a bit like having a player manager, really. In my opinion, basically you've got a manager who's just playing.
You've got a manager who takes stuff and he's basically acting as a manager on the pitch.
Yeah, so it's a bit like a player manager, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he's basically taking the role of the manager, but he's actually younger and he can go on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because I think the captain's got to be based on if the actual manager trusts the player, for one.
Yeah.
For two, if he's earned it, which let's say Ashley Young didn't deserve it. And three, if he's actually going to be an influence on players, or is he just going to shout at them? Because you do have them type of captains who will just shout and say, you're not doing it, so why should I give you, why should I be nice to you? Which I guess some players need criticism, but
that's true.
Not as hard as some people give it.
Very true. Very, very true. But yeah, 67 million. This is the final question because we are coming towards the last minute of we are in the last minute of the transfers now.
I thought it was till 5 past.
No, that's when the show finishes. It's the transfers are 40 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes, all the last thoughts and stuff, and then the end of it. So very quickly, 67.5 million and a 5-year deal. Is that reasonable for Ligt?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a reasonable fee at the moment. I think if Ajax had thought tactically, buyback clause. You've got to put a buyback clause in because he's going to be one of the best players in the world in the next 5 years. And if you get a buyback clause in him, you could say, yeah, we've got this buyback clause in him, so we'll have that, like maybe an 80 mil one, maybe, or something small. We'll say, like, yeah, we'll pay that 80 mil we put in his buyback clause. But I know Man United had one with Wilfred Zaha, but we did something to that to get Wan-Bissaka. And we've got one in Wan-Bissaka. at Crystal Palace get a fixed amount of the fee if we sell him for over £50 million.
That's fair enough, yeah. I mean, I think it's a reasonable price in my opinion, and I think that there's the horn. Bit late, mind. But no, I think it's a reasonable price for someone of his talent, and I think 5-year deal, gives him enough time to actually show what he's made of. Gives him enough time to actually settle into Juventus as well. Because I think he'll struggle to fit in, even though he's played at Juventus before, but he doesn't have the Serie A experience. So, and he has to learn Italian. Well, or he just gets a translator. But I think he might do well. It's hit and miss with him because he doesn't have any experience. And that is it. We're at the end of the transfers. There's two free transfers we didn't get to, and they were Nkunku to Leipzig, Haller to West Ham, which is one of the biggest ones this week. We'll get onto that one next week. And Bruno Fernandes to United, is it still on? Is it going to go ahead or not? As I say, we'll get more updates on all of these next week. Looking forward to next week's show. Quickly before we do leave you, the names left on here, and next week is episode 10, and the following week's episode 11, 12. So yeah, there's 3 more guests to go, and there's 3 names left on here. And they are Rashford Jawara, United 2, and Dan from Football Fan Fever. So who is the guest for episode 10?
Me.
It is Rashford Jawara. So, Rashford Jawara will be the guest for next week, and hopefully we'll be live. I'm gonna message him. Probably won't be tonight, but I'll message him sometime during the week. Ask him if he's fine to do it next Thursday. So that is it for now. Episode 9 completed. There's only episode 10, 11, and 12 to go. So there's literally 3 shows left. And then we finish the series with a bonus episode, which is episode 13, which will go on for an hour. And that will be with a very special guest who is still agreed to do it. So, as I say, hopefully things plan out. It's been a fantastic show. Even though we've had to do it as an upload, it's still been brilliant. It's obviously not as easy doing it as an upload than it is actually getting people's thoughts in the live chat and stuff. So it's been a bit different, yeah. But I think the show's gone very well. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Jack, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Absolute pleasure as always. Is there any final things you want to say?
Yeah. On obviously. Final things. Just never write off any transfers, and I hope these players that I've kind of slated off do well, because I love seeing players do well, and it satisfies the player. That I'm sure that player wants to prove people wrong, so I hope he does prove me wrong. But yeah, thank you for having me on.
Not a problem, mate. Thank you very much for coming on. And of course, next week we should be live unless anything else happens. But that's it. Rashford Jawara is on next week. I've really enjoyed doing this series so far. This has to be the longest. It's not the longest. Not the longest. Well, is this not the longest? It's not the longest actual YouTube series I've done. The longest series I've done is the FIFA 19 seasons one. That's the longest one so far. But I really enjoyed this series. This is the longest running transfer show series on this channel. First time I'm going to actually get to 13 episodes. And from all here on Dazzer's Transfer Show, for me and Jack, have a great night. We'll see you later. Goodbye.